Kia ora whānau, and welcome to the East Coast Bay's home of the Barracudas. It's Freiburg Park in Browns Bay in Tamaki Makaurau. It's the Northcote Tigers as they line up against the Manurewa Marlins, and you're watching the action from the Fox Memorial Sheild right here on Māori television. A warm welcome to you wherever you're viewing this, either in New Zealand or streamed through the web offshore and overseas. Well, conditions here for today's encounter. There has been some rain earlier on in the city of Sails, and that'll make the surface a little slick. Let's have a look at Northcote Tigers' last 3 games. Last week they picked up the Rooster with a 2-point win over the previously unbeaten Otahuhu Leopards. A great result for Kenny McIntosh's Northcote Tigers. The round before that they went down to the Saints by 14 and lost also to the Barracudas 24-16. So a good turnaround for the Northcote Tigers. They'll be on a high and hoping to keep the momentum going and pick up another win this arvo.
Yeah, it's a big win for Kenny McIntosh's team in it against Otahuhu Leopards last week to pick up not only the 2 points but also the Rooster against the table-topping Otahuhu Leopards, who have been absolutely thrashing teams in the Fox Memorial Trophy over the last few weeks, but also the Manurewa Marlins as we look back on their last 3 games. 3 losses to the Maris Saints, the Mount Albert Lions and the Papakura Sea Eagles. But talking to Francis Leota pre-game saying that the team just needs to go out there and win, I said, well, what do you need to do to win? And he said, we need to harden up and we need to make sure that we're in this game for 80 minutes. So I'm really looking forward to this match here today, Dale, against the Northcote Tigers and the Manurewa Marlins. Northcote for the fact that to see whether or not they can back up, but Manurewa also, they've shown promise but not enough of it to actually get a win in the last month.
Yeah, well, the Manurewa Marlins have got some good players, and we would have expected them to have done a little better in the top 8 clubs in the Auckland competition, but nevertheless their chance is here today. Just updating you on the table going into this round. The Otahuhu Leopards with just the 1 loss head the table on 12 points. The Lions and the Barracudas came into this round on 10 points. That's followed by the Sea Eagles and the Tigers on 6, also the Maris Saints and the Roosters and the Marlins coming into the round sitting on 2 points. Rusty Matu in control of the Marlins, also the Auckland Fox Premier Coach, and he is also the assistant coach of the New Zealand Māori squad is Rusty Matu. Let's have a look at the Tigers lineup. Tola, Tokiavea, Sean Utter, very talented ball player, tall, strong. He'll make a difference out wide. Ronnie Roberts, Brandon Nixon, McFarlane and Boyce teaming up in the halves.
Yeah, hitting the back short. Fatu and Campbell on the wings. Pamatangi, Henry Heta had a good game last week in the centres. Iopo in at that standoff position, and for me this is where the game's going to be won or lost. Aaron Woodhouse, they have a decent halfback running around for the Marlins.
Engine room now. Mike Davis, Damon Trott back into the action. Kyle Barn, Swane Louis, Jason Kamareda is a war horse, been around a lifetime, and Mike Blucher make up a very imposing forward pack for the Tigers from Birkenhead.
Yeah, Leota Williams Peresi up in the engine room for the Marlins. Tafai Tusani and Monaco on the back of the scrum.
And to the benches we go now, as you can see in the background there, just warming up. Pule Robinson, Jared Trott will come off the interchange bench today, and Ian Hayes makes up the 17-man squad.
Herewini Arama, Tupo and Lafo, they're going to play a big part, especially with the conditions here off the bench, and of course coached by Rusty Matua.
It's in for a heck of a game, and I'm glad you could join us this afternoon. Stay with us. We'll have kickoff for you right after this on Māori television. Kia ora no whānau. Nau mai hana mai ki a pōwhakata Māori, te whiringa tō whakataitai. Fox Memorial Championship. It's the Marlins from Manurewa up against the Tigers from Northcote. The action coming to you from Freiburg Park in Browns Bay. Teleki Pai Whenua here in Tamaki Makaurau. Hayden Price is in control of the action. We're glad to have your company right across the Motu no mai hara mai. And really important that the Marlins get off to a good start. That was their Vice Captain Jesse Oapo in jersey number 6 this afternoon. That's the perennial Frank Prodessi And of course a very strong bookend for the Marlins. The Tigers on the other hand, well, they're not putting the roof on the line, although it is a home game deemed for them. They're not playing at their home track, and so therefore they will hold on to the roof. Big Richie Blackmore will be disappointed to have lost that, Tony.
Yes, look, spoke to Richie during the week too, and he was very disappointed. Thought his team had got home with a last-ditch try, but which was judged to be forward by the referee at the time. But well done to the Northcote Tigers to pick up the Root Rooster and the 2 points. A couple of good additions to the Northcote side since the last time we saw them play. Sean Utter in the centres, a wonderful footballer who's played a lot of first-class games, and of course Damon Trott back from injury. So, you know, Northcote have got the power here and the experience to get off to a good start.
The Northcote club have picked up 7 championships in the history of Auckland Rugby League. The Manurewa Marlins, on the other hand, just the 2 wins in their history, and that's their number 1 is taken with the ball. The Marlins, Albert Short has tackled about 10 out from his own line.
Yeah, Boyce indicating early what the Northcote Tiger and where they want to play the game, with a wonderful kick down into this left-hand corner of the Northcote Tigers side, and put together a wonderful kick chase, also making this big Manurewa forward pack get back and work himself out of the yardage set.
Checking on conditions, Tarahi Maipi, tēnā koe, kōrero mai.
Ai tēnā rā wātu koe e Daiala I tēnei wā ngā matapai huarere pai. Te ata nei heke mai te ua engari he kā puapua ana te rangi karekau he ua I tēnei wā. He hau e pupuhi ana ki ngā tuara o te kapa Northcote Tigers engari e pupuhi hoki ana ki te mai tētahi taha o te whira ki tērā tūtaha. At this time at Freiburg Park, it was a lot of rain, pretty heavy this morning, but that's all died up. But it's still really overcast, and there is a bit of a breeze at the backs of the Northcote Tigers. But all in all, pretty good conditions. Good pitch here at Freiburg Park, so we're in for a good game.
Tulitola will play the ball, taken by his wing 3/4. That's Brandon Nixon. Nixon tackled by Aaron Woodhouse, who's the skipper today for the Marlins. Far side of the field, this is Sean Utter from Ngai Tūhoi. And he is very difficult to control, Big Sean. 6'4" and plenty powerful, although this time he gets bundled into touch, maybe just one bridge too far.
Yeah, just I suppose finding a little bit of space down in that right-hand edge there, Sean Utter, but there just making a bit of an error. I'm pretty sure that he'll make up for that later on in the game, but not a bad set of 6 there from Northcote early on in the game to the one that I like down here, putting that kick in early. Manurewa, they have got a very big forward pack, and I suppose that what Kenny McIntosh would like to see is making sure that these boys are working back behind the football and making them take some of that petrol out of the tank of those big blokes.
Henry Heta from Ngāpuhi Nui Tonu up to play the ball now for the Marlins.
Shawnee, stay on side!
Taking it forward, Wilson Tawhai. Had a dummy half, a spirited little run from Alfie Williams from down to the Waikato.
He just got a hand on the ball there, the Northcote player, as Alfie tried to pass that football out to his support runners on the outside. So they're going to get another set of 6 here, Manurewa, first time in the good ball area of the Northcote Tigers here. Very parochial there, Hayden Price with his calls too. He's been very good over the last few weeks that we've had him on Māori television, making some wonderful calls during some pretty tight encounters.
Yeah, it's fairly testing for the referees as well as for the players. Not used to seeing themselves playing footy with half a dozen, perhaps 7 cameras focusing on their every move, and the same can be said of the referees, but invaluable for them, no doubt. To look back and improve on. Still with the Marlins, this time it's Po Manuko who will play the ball, and Williams to Woodhouse.
Just been adjudged to be forward there, the pass from Woodhouse there, but like the look of this young kid, Woodhouse. Manurewa, over the last couple of weeks that we've watched them play, haven't had a steady number 7 in that position. I think with Jesse Uapo out there who can direct some play, needs a little bit of help out of that halfback position. The young kid in picture there, Woodhouse, able to do that for the Manurewa Marlins. So nice to see that he's having a go here against this Northcote side.
Northcote in possession now, about 10 out from their own line, as you can see, and really just Some conservatism needed in the early exchanges.
Elby, get your hands out
Really
there,
just
mate.
important to settle teams into their mahi.
Three,
They control the football for the 6, get a good kick away at the end of their set, either on the 4th or 5th. That ball to ground, bounces kindly for Kamaraida, that's okay. And he gets the offload there to Sean Utter. Play on, says Hayden Price. Utter is away from 1, then 2. Now the wide ball, and good hands would have finished it off brilliantly. Sadly for the Northcote Tigers, Wani Roberts couldn't control, and it'll be a Marlins feed.
Yeah, Kamaraida there with a nice big left-hand fend to put himself through the gap. As a ball there, just unlucky with the bounce as a right-hand fend, sorry. Finds Sean Utter in support. Here, nice step off his right foot, swerves around the fullback and finds his centre on the opposite side there. Tries to get him onto the football. Should have caught that. It's an opportunity gone begging for the Northcote Tigers in his first 1 minutes.
Keep an eye on this young Alfie Williams, their number 9, a 20-year-old. Played also for the county's Māori touch and Auckland Māori touch as well, the young number 9. But an improved performance being demanded by their coach Rusty Matu, a very competitive player, and he's also fashioned a very creditable record as far as his coaching mahi is concerned as well, Rusty. He's already had a Fox Memorial Championship when he was co-coaching along with Richie Blackmore, who's gone on to coach individually, both of them. Blackmore, of course, with Otahu now, and Rusty opting to stay out there in Manurewa, one of the biggest catchments for rugby league, in fact one of the biggest clubs in the country without doubt, the Marlins. Francis Leotu, we gave him some big raps last week, a good friend of Tony Kemp's, and a bloke who he rates highly, certainly as much as giving back to the game is concerned. If you're around or so active as Frankie Leotu. 10 out from the line now, great chance here for the Marlins. Little step up on the inside, goes for Po Manurewa. It needed a quick play of the ball as Williams, then a little spin. Williams trying to outfox his defenders. They don't fall for his ploy this time around though, as Manurewa goes into dummy half. They decide to come down the short side. There's the grubber kick to the end goal. The chase important. It's been pushed dead there by a desperate Nixon.
Wonderful thread there through the line from Woodhouse with his right-hand boot, finding another set of 6 for his team here, Manurewa. This is what they've lacked in the last couple of weeks, Manurewa. A good option at 7, wonderful little kick. That man, of course, Brandon Nixon, we've seen him play at under 20 level this year for the NYC Warriors side. So plenty of talent on show out here today, Dale. And I think we're in for a really good one.
I'd like to see the Marlins just, lifted a cog. I've been disappointed with their form so far in the season. And today's a big opportunity for them up against the Root Rooster champions. Although because they're not at home, the Root not on the line today, as Peresi is tackled. As you can see, he's about 10 from the line now. The Marlins got what's needed as Iwapo shows it, puts the fend on, comes close to the line. Oh, some desperate defence. Keep him away. Iwapo ran to the line with purpose. There's the cutout ball. It's long and wide, but it's gone behind everyone. Gone back, in fact, 30 metres before the Marlins are able to take possession cleanly. 22 out from the line now and in centre field. It's played back now to Roberts. Roberts goes left and Heta on the far side. Then there's the spin, the Marlins. Tackled on the 5th and final now. There's the rubber kick again, threading the needle, and the Marlins are there, and the try is scored. I'm pretty sure it's for the Marlins' Henry Heta, but we'll just confirm that.
Yeah, Heta got that try there. Nice little kick through. Just gave this man a big rap. Aaron Woodhouse finds the gap with a right foot, and it's nice too. He shapes up. He doesn't sell it too much to the attacking team. Doesn't know whether you're going to pass it or kick it. Finds some nice space, and we know with that oval ball you can get the bounce if you chase. And Henry Heta, the recipient there of a wonderful kick by Aaron Woodhouse, but caught Northcote hopping there, Dale, I think in this last 3 or 4 sets here. The Manurewa Marlins unlucky not to go in with Jesse Iwapo, but a nice little right foot there. Henry Heta just follows through. He won't get any easier than that one today.
24-year-old Henry Heta. He also has whakapapa connections into Te Tai Tokoro and played in the Auckland squad last season. And You'll be pleased with the effort, Henry. So I'm assuming Willie's brother.
Willie's brother, that's right, and has played for Otahu during the Baraka Cup days. Wonderful centre, I think, Henry Heta. He's got good skills. We saw that last week with a nice little in and away as that ball drops on top of the combi. But you know, he's got some wonderful skills here. Just as we have another look here, Dale, just have a look how many chases here Manurewa have at the football. Henry Heta there picking up the try, but there was at least 6 blokes in that shot. It's something we haven't seen over the last three weeks on Māori television. They've showed up here today to play and get the 2 points.
Tarahi.
Si tika tāu e hoa ko te hanga o tēnei tīma, he pai, ko te āhua nei he mahere rautaki tā rātou, anā kei te ūtonu ki tērā mahere, te take ko whai hua rātou i ngā miniti moato o tēnei kēmu, i te mea hoki ko te hoariri tētahi o ngā tīma papaira wātu, ki te ārai, ki te whakangungu i taua paora. Exactly right there, Kempi. They seem to have a lot of structure about them, something that we haven't really seen, and it is probably due in large part to the inclusion of Aaron Woodhouse at the halfback position. What we've seen previously is Jesse Uwapo and guys like Frank Parisi, very talented football players, but having to do probably a little bit more than what they're required, whereas with the inclusion of Woodhouse, he's probably telling his boys, look, just do your job, get me the meters, and I'll come up with ways for us to score, which is really good also considering that they're going up against the Tigers, who are the 3rd best defensive team of this competition. They look very, very sound.
6-0, the scoreline after 11 minutes. Fans watching on, enjoying the action here. I hope you are as well back in wherever you're tuned in today. Don't forget also, you can tell your whananga might be living in Oz or even in England. That if you tune into MaoriTelevision.com on the web, and, this program is streamed. So our whānau might be interested to see how their cousins are going back home. Let them know it's on, eh? So it's streamed through the web, through Māori television as well. Here's Jesse Oapo, nicely weighted pass, brilliantly weighted pass. Here's the fullback for the line. Oh, just too strong. Great run in, and the Marlins are in through Albert Short, but what a deft little effort it was from Jesse Oapo. He popped it brilliantly into the hole, and the fullback was there, smoking. Finishes it off nicely.
Well, you're not going to get a better finish to a set of 6 from a kickoff than the one that you've just seen from Albert Short there. Jesse Oapo is the benefit of a good halfback in Aaron Woodhouse, being able to play his natural game out here on the right-hand side and picking the correct options of Albert Short, running around and sweeping behind this Frank Parisi here. But just a wonderful ball that Henry Heta selling at the centre, falling for the massive line that Henry Heta run, and it was all up to Albert Short just to carry the ball over the try line.
I know that Mike Blucher won't want to have a look at it because it's a serious push-off here by Albert Short. He's 27 and used to, well, he made the Auckland Prelims as well since 09, formerly with St Peters as well, first 15. There's Jace Adama there, second from the right. It's that big Songi. Songi Tupou, the perennial rugby league player. He's there every year. Good to see him on the bench as well. So a terrific start here for the Marlins. Just what they needed. 2 tries already. And Albert Short looking to convert his own try. He is, as you can see, 1.5 meters in from touch. A very difficult conversion attempt. Let's see what he's got. Albert Short winds himself up, steadies. Picture of concentration. Got all the footwork. Hits it, coming around. It's on the money, baby. Oh, yeah. Way to finish, 12-0 for the Marlins early on, 13 gone.
Look, it's been all the Marlins, Dale, in this first 10 minutes. 8 sets out of the last 10 they've completed and come up with 12 points. On the other hand, Northcote only had 3 sets in that whole time, doing a lot in defence and great for the Manurewa Marlins because they'll be sucking a lot of petrol for later on in the game where they haven't been that good. But Albert Short, let's have a look at another kick at goal. That was wonderful to extend the lead here for the Marlins in this first half.
Now, Mr. Huntley, this is the start that we really hoped for the Marlins, but I'm sure Rusty Matu will be fizzing saying, well, this is just what the doctor ordered.
Oh, te pai hoki o tēnei tima Manurewa Marlins, kua rereke anō hoki tā rātou tū I ki te mātou I runga I a whakaata Māori, kua tino ara ake rātou, kua koi ake wa rātou nekehanga, kua kaha anō hoki ngā waiwai o tēnei tima, na te take kei mua rāno rātou I tēnei kemu I ngā miniti moata. There's been a massive turnaround for this Manurewa Marlins team. You talk about their size of their forwards. Not only are their forwards massive, but it looks like Jesse Huapo, the standoff, and Albert Short, who look just as comfortable with a number 8 or number 10 on their backs. They have got size and speed to burn all across the paddock. Is just what they were lacking was structure, but it shouldn't be too much of a surprise. I was talking to my mate down here, Everton, who's with the under-9s Manurewa Marlins team, and he reckons, he told me at the beginning of the game, nah, Manurewa's going to win, we're looking good, so it shouldn't be any surprise. I got it first hand.
Yeah, good on you, mate. Well, Fado, the Marlins are up by 12-0. There's a push. Hayden Price is, it's time for the Northcote Tigers to take possession. Speaking of which, now the scoreline is 12-0, but possession is 72% in favour of the Marlins. Tony, through the course of 80 minutes, that stat tends to even itself out, so you can't read too much into a lead when you've had 75% of the pill.
But what it does, Dale, is it just sucks the petrol out of it, and it makes a difference at the back end of football games. No matter what, you can't go back and reclaim that petrol that you've used up early on. So you might even up the possession stakes, but you're not going to have the energy in your legs to get you home. So Northcote need to complete some sets of 6 here, need to get back into the game as far as structure goes, like Tiare just said, and then make sure that they have an opportunity to rest, because at the moment, if you look at them, they're all huffing and puffing because all they've been doing for the last 10 minutes is tackling.
Well, they've had to tackle, what's that, 25, so at least 4 extra sets already in the game, the Northcote Tigers. But they're in position now and they're starting to mount challenges. They send the ball through the hands, turning it back up on the inside to come this time. And that's their big number 10, Sean Louis. Louis will play the ball, as you can see, 13 from the line with the Northcote Tigers, and a big chance for them. Through Tumanako, Bush tries the grubber kick through, which I believe is a debatable option, and when statistical information's available to how often you put it on the toe with grubbers or with crossfield bombs, you wonder whether or not too often the boys go to the boot instead of working through the hands.
Well, it's probably a third best option there that they came up with. I think you go to the air, make it a 50-50 kick, get it into the in goal at least and get the ball back, or like they did there, they ended up on the try line. This is the best option coming out though, is to tackle for a turnover. That man there coming up with a second error in a row, Tafai, he'd be a little bit disappointed with himself out here on the right hand edge, coming up with a couple of one a penalty now, a knock on, but this is what Northcote needs. They need that ball back in their hands and opportunities here to get on the board.
Tarihi, last time we had Northcote on Māori television, they were out without the 2 Taranaki boys, who I might add are from Taranaki. The Trot boys from Taranaki. Having them back in the team will no doubt give them a bit more sting, T.A.
Oh, kāre kore, wā ko te uruhanga o te toko rua rā, tāpiri atu ki a Shonata kāre i te rāwiki, he mea tino pai tērā mo tēnei kapa Northcote Tigers. Tētake I tūraki rātou I te kapa o Tāhuhu Leopards I te wiki ko Tahake. Now, they're a huge integral part of this team, and they're in key positions as well. Jared Trott, who is your leader up front, he's the #1 prop in this team. Jared Trott, who's coming off the bench, is a fantastic standoff first halfback, who's had a lot of experience at Bartercard and also at international level, playing a lot of games for the New Zealand Māori. And Sean Nuttall, of course, is probably, I think he was in the top 5 try scorers all time in the Bartercard Cup in that competition, got close to 100 tries and around about 100 games. So 3 very, very key members of that team. I think one other thing worth mentioning as well is that the bench of this Northcote Tigers team, they haven't been called upon as yet, but they are deep. They've got Jared Trott and also another experienced player, Ian Hayes, coming off the bench. So as the game wears on, especially around the 60th minute, look for those 2 to have a big impact in this game.
Well, the rain is starting to fall now, and the rain coming really in from the east. The ground here running north to south, and of course the Browns Bay, just only less than half a K really, I guess, from Freiburg Park, where you're seeing the action from. Now it's with the Manurewa Marlins, and it's the try scorer Henry Heta, back into the arms of Al Williams. Dummy half now is Po Manuko from Ngāti Whātua. Which way will he work? He decides to go to the left to Woodhouse. The grubber kick through perhaps not as on the spot as he would have liked. And the Tigers come up with the ball and they'll have to work it away just out of their try line, but indeed it's been knocked on. A little mistake made there, Brandon Nixon. And so the scrum feed going the way of the Marlins.
Yeah, Brandon Nixon just carrying that ball in a little bit soft for me. He needed to make sure that he's buried his head here, but this bloke's kicking game in this first 20 minutes has been outstanding. Brandon Nixon picking the football up here. Just not enough venom in that carry, and as he falls on the ball here, just pops out. Good call there by Hayden Price, but Manurewa again with an opportunity to extend their lead here.
Blockhead in. Ball in. Out.
Possession, as you can see, still favouring the Marlins. Looking to seek try number 3. Here is Henry Header. Show, go, deliver. They're in. The Marlins are in again. Oh, super play out wide for the Manurewa Marlins. Superb finish. Try number 3.
Just have a look here, Dale, at the way that this bloke here sums it up. Henry Header just stands his centre, his opposite up, hands down, and draws a 2-on-1 against the winger here for Northcote. But Henry Header there just taken the opportunity for Glenn Campbell here to go and untouched in this right-hand corner. But what a wonderful player this Henry Header is in the centres. He should stay there. I know that he's been used in the back row here, but just have a look. He just stands him up, draw and pass. Wonderful centres play. All you young blokes out there watching, the benefit of that there is Henry Header carries this ball in 2 hands and stops his opposing centre. That's a centre's try. Well
and
done.
indeed some confidence as well to show it and then get around the outside. He hau whakaro e tarihi.
Anō, e ahua horere ana ki te hanga o tēnei tīma Manurewa Marlins, ko tā rātou pai ki te kōkiri te paoro, anā, ko te rātou koe anō hoki, ki te whakararangi o a rātou hoariri, ki te whakararu i a rātou, anā kia tuku anō hoki te paoro, mo ngā mea e tautoko ana i a rātou. I'm absolutely shocked to see what a dramatic turnaround this Manurewa Marlins team are doing from the last time we saw them. Last time we saw them, I mean, they relied heavily on a power game, which is a smart option because they are a big, strong team. They had a lot of offloads, but it was very, very unstructured, their style of play, and in the end, it just couldn't get them the win. But this week, they have just completely turned it around. People are sticking to their individual assignments. They're executing well. Great support play. People are running good lines. It is just the look of a very, very good rugby league team.
Well, it's a bit of a turnaround for them as well. With the hardy souls that are bracing themselves against this easterly rain. These guys, they go to every single game for Manurewa. Characters, man, absolute characters. Good supporters. And honestly, you can hear them shouting from Manurewa across here on the north side. 16-0, who would have thought? 21 into the game. So the kick-off now. Let's see what the Manurewa Marlins have got. And I can tell you what, disappointment what it will be, what they are feeling. Vince Fatu, you sit it there.
How many times do we see it, Dale? After you've scored a try, you come up with a big error down on your own try line from the kick-off, allowing the other team just to get straight back in the game. But Vince Fatu there, been wonderful for Manurewa over the last 3 weeks on Māori television, just coming up a little bit too far, ready to catch that football and a massive error.
Thank you.
From under the post, the restart.
Keep them down, Rewa.
They don't write this Northcote Tigers team off. We've seen turnarounds already in the competition where squads are down big time in the first 40 and then come back. There's no reason to suspect that the Tigers can't do the same. Big Trot,
Marcus, get square.
Jared Trot
Eight, roll
shapes
away.
up.
Not there, 8. Not there. Not there.
Happy just doing some modifications to our commentary position as Kamareda tries to get the ball back. Juggled here by Sean Utter. Like a clown in the circus, he was able to control that time around. He sends it back, play on, will say the referee. That's still okay, keep it going. Tigers never sleep. 6 out from the line. Tigers in possession. This time it's Robinson. Stephen Robinson turns it on the inside for Blucher. Blucher plays it again. Robinson's there, has a look for the line. But the Marlins muscle up and shut them down. 15 to the left-hand side of the post. The Tigers got some steamrollers they can use close to the line. This time it's Ian Hayes. Out it comes, the little halfback. Here comes the half. I thought the trot might have popped up for him. Mike Davis. That's him with the pill. Wide they come. Ball to ground, play on, says the referee. Still sweet. Tigers through the middle. Here they come. Where are the chasers? And it's been forced dead by Albert Short. Some sharp work there by the Tigers. Wani Roberts has a shared ngapui tainui whakapapa, but this time no follow-through from the Tigers to pick up on his slick little kick. Let's have a look. In the end, has to be forced dead by Albert, short off his knee, in fact.
Yeah, nice little play there by Roberts there to get back a repeat set here. But first time that Manurewa Marlins have been called on defence down on their own try line, coming up trumps. Just goes to show you that the attitude is right. You're always looking at what your defence is like on the line. And Manurewa are here to play this afternoon.
Move now!
Steady play there from Trot. Tap and go. No, referee Hayden Price says, hold it up a little bit, Jared. Enthusiasm's okay, but only on my whistle, thanks.
He's not happy. Kenny McIntosh made some big changes already, and Ian Hayes and Stephen Robertson on the football field. So just have a look here to see whether or not they make a difference in this set.
This is Ian Hayes. That's the big fend on Airport. Some late assistance comes in the form of Sean Louis. Now tackled with the ball is the hooker Kyle Barn, but the referee says that he's knocked on.
Yeah, good shot there by Tassani on the Kyle Barn, just jolting the ball loose on that in that tackle area. So Manurewa there just showing up on defence today. You know, we've seen lots of points scored against them in the last couple of rounds, but this shot here by Tassani just enough there to jolt their ball loose and give themselves an opportunity to work out of their own half.
There's a bit of help in there, don't you think?
Well, my name isn't Mr. Price.
Helping that ball to
No, you weren't.
be shrugged loose, shaken loose, I should say. Now the Tigers
Turn, release now!
sort of wrap around the attacker that is Vince Fatu. Takes exception, and I think Fatu might be penalised. He was, and is.
Yeah, back-to-back errors by a couple of blokes here. We've just seen that from Vince Fatu with the poor read from the kickoff and just taking a little exception there to something in the tackle. But you know, the lead is starting to be evened up here as far as possession goes. We see Damon Trott just laying the foundation for this Northcote side.
3-3 the penalty count at the moment as Boucher comes through with the ball for the Tigers. Offloads and they keep it alive out wide. This is Kamarada, who looks to link up out wide, and sadly for him, Brandon Nixon was not there, nor Viliami Tokyo Vea. Nixon there and strip number 5. As you can see, a little bit of rain coming down here at Freiburg Park at the moment. But a 16-0 scoreline, 3 tries to 0 after 26. The Marlins lead the Tigers.
Te Ara here, the conditions playing any part out there to favour any side at the moment?
I tēnei wā e hoi ahua ori tēnā ngā huatanga o te taia. Karekau he tino hau e pupuhi ana I tēnei wā e heke ana te ua mā turuturu. Nō reira he mea, hei hāpai, hei hapa anō hoki I ngā tīmairua. There isn't really a distinct advantage for either team, but ball security is paramount. The rain is starting to drop. Fall down a little bit heavier than it was 10-15 minutes ago, but there's no real breeze to speak of that it's an advantage for either team, so it could be the benefit or the detriment of both sides, but you know, they need to lock up that pill.
Yeah, it's really difficult with the slick conditions. Here come the Marlins. Now, are there any chasers with the wheels? Henry Heta strolling away. Supremely confident. He juggled it for a moment. I thought he was all the way. Wow, what a chase by the Tigers. They go all the way on Heta. I thought he had done enough. Out of dummy half. Having a go with it there. Glenn Campbell has already picked up one. Surely the Marlins will be able to capitalise here. Otherwise, there'll be some questions asked of Henry Heta. He seemed to be just sauntering down the line. I thought he was there for all money. Play on, then the knock on. The Marlins, Albert, short of turnover for the Tigers. Hey, tried saving tackle that one, mate.
Oh, Butcher, take your head off to that man, Brandon Nixon. Didn't he show some legs here? But Henry Heta looked like he was running in quicksand over that last 20 metres. Being pulled down just short of the try line, but a good read in defence. I think he's just a little bit tired there. He's had to make some big plays in the last couple of sets of 6, Henry Heta, but anyone would have closed the gate here. As we see, just an intercept here. Good read in D. Finds himself, he's got at least 10 metres on Nixon. It looks like he's over hosed there. He probably, this is where he starts to tread that quicksand. Sorry, that wasn't Nixon, that was Tokyo Vea getting back and making that tackle. Nixon coming across and cover.
Seriously run out of gas there, mate. The big fella.
Oh, the Marlins on the second phase play just said not enough discipline to finish off the play. They had about a 72 to 1 man overlap on the left-hand corner, but they tried to score the try right away.
Come, boys.
Well, that was touched by the Marlins player just before it went into touch, so it'll be a Tigers scrum feed. 29 gone, 16 to 0. Important that the Tigers turn around here. You certainly haven't written them off. Tony Kemp, who also remains the only New Zealander ever to coach in the NRL and is one of our Kiwi selectors as we speak. Tony, you've seen plenty of games like this. 16-0 scoreline is able to be counteracted if teams develop some discipline and start getting some ball control.
Yeah, I think in Northcote's instance too, they've got a lot of blokes there that can get over the try line. He's touched on Sean Martin's try-scoring ability, being one of the top 5 all-time top try scorers in the Barter Cup. But you know, for you to score tries, it ain't going to be a big scoring, big score day today with the rain that's coming down at the moment. So discipline's got to come into it. You've seen Manurewa give away a couple of penalties, easy, cheap penalties lately. Discipline, ball control, all the little things that you need to do to win a game sort of polarises itself when you have the conditions that we've got out there this afternoon.
There's a lot to like about Damon Trott's game at the moment. Of course, he's kicking to the big prop forward, but talk about getting himself in position to carry. You know, there's just plenty of enthusiasm. He's back in the action, and I tell you what, that'll be duplicated as well when his brother Jared gets an opportunity. Here he is again. Is that the big fella? No, that's not. It's not Damon. Of course, that's Bleacher. Really important that the Tigers are next to score. There's 30 minutes gone so far. It's been the Marlins all the way, but have the Tigers got something in store as it's shown there for a moment? Camarada tries to pick it up for Nixon.
I'll tell you what they want to do. They want to go out there and just check if Camarada's not colourblind because he keeps hitting the touch judge, Te Arahi.
Ko tāku na tino hia au ki te rapu i ngā whakaro o te kaiako Kenny McIntosh me ngā mahi whakangungu i te wiki ko ta hāke. I runga i te kēmu nunui, whakahira-hira o tā rātou tūrakitanga i te kapa o Tāhuhu Leopards. Ngāre kua tino ki te wā rātou āhua māngere, āhua ngoikore tā rātou tū i tēnei wiki. Just with the Northcote Tigers, I would have loved to know or to be in at their trainings just to see what their approach was like this week. They played a hell of a game, just winning 2 points, beating Otahuhu. I'm just wondering whether they're still suffering from a bit of a hangover off that game because they last week were a team that looked like a complete dark horse that could win this whole competition. Right now, they're struggling really, really badly.
Well, we know how competitive the Northcote teams have been in the past and continue to be, so I'm sure that McIntosh, while disappointed, will also have some confidence that his team will be able to turn around the 16-point deficit. Here's a chance for them too for Tony Tola. Tola pulled to ground now, as you can see, about 15 metres away from the try line. Played back now to Jared Trott, who's on the field, gets it to his brother Damon. That's the try line. It's 5 metres in front of them. They're 10 to the right-hand side of the post. Dummy half is Robinson. Robinson works it across to Davis. Hot passing, and there's the try that has so far eluded them. But the referee, excuse me, will say that the ball has gone forward, and the Tigers denied their 4-pointer.
I was just about to say, Dale, that they have to come up with something in this set of 6. The Marlins have not been able to get out of that half. That part of the field in the last 5 sets that they've been down here, but it's just an easy catch and pass here to Ian Hayes and being judged to be a forward 50-50 ball, but that man Hayden Price in position to call it. Very lucky to get off the Manurewa Marlins in that one there. Having a look at the completion rates though here, most of the ball in the first 20 minutes going to the Marlins, but it's just starting to even up a little bit here. 14 sets now that the Tigers have had.
Penalty count 5-3 in favour of the Tigers. Offloads 4-3 again on the Tigers side of the ledger.
You know, I touched on it before here, the big Manurewa Marlin forward pack are leading too much with the football, and when you do that in this type of weather and you make that contact like you do there, there's a lot of room for error, so you just need to protect that football and lead with the arm that doesn't have it in there.
And of course, Tony, reminded of the role the big men play. When you've got guys consistently carrying and attracting 3 defenders, it's got to leave opportunities, if the ball's played quick, to spread it wide and take advantage. But sadly, even though some of the big guys will carry 3 or 4 defenders, slow to their feet and slow to play the ball.
Yeah, that's right, Dale. When they finally come to a completion there, the Marlins are doing plenty of that in the first 20. But, you know, good coaches recognise those types of carries and they tell their defenders to attack the football. What happens in a day like today, you attack it enough times, the percentages are going to come your way, the ball's going to pop out, and you'll probably get it in a good position. So it's just something you need to tell your boys, you know, stop leading with the ball in the rain.
Tigers, good defence here. Must pay tribute to the Marlins' defence as well as their attack. They picked up 3 tries, but they've been defending strongly as well. That's a good carry. And what's needed for the Tigers, one person to just put their hand up as Jason Arnemer congratulates his teammate there, Rodney Helowini. They did precisely what Tony just mentioned.
Exactly what we're just talking about there. The rain's coming down at, you know, Noah's Ark's just up there on the hill and everyone go and throw the animals in here because that's how much is coming down here at the moment. The teams just need to realise, especially in the middle of the ruck, because that's where the game's going to be won or lost now. So now that the conditions are really caving in here at Freiburg Park, that you've got to stop leading with the football. Just tuck it under your arm, bury your head, and make sure that you get to the end of your set.
The rain hosing down at the moment. But not now, little Combi, our cosy Combi commentary position. Breaking new ground here. Obviously, difficult circumstances, or more difficult circumstances at our suburban grounds. But the decision was made to give you a taste of our flax roots or grassroots rugby league, and so it's important not to just play at Mount Smart or other venues of that nature, but to come out into the suburban venues. And I must again thank the connection to the East Coast Bays Barracudas. They've been wonderful hosts. Couldn't do anything about the weather for us though, sadly, Tony, but the Combi's keeping us dry, and I hope you're enjoying the footy at home.
Well, I'm glad you two boys are enjoying it. I'm getting soaked out here, mate. So, Kempy, if you've got a little V-dub or a mini parked up in your garage as well, mate, bring that along next time as well. I've got a seat on the sideline.
I'll tell you what I will do, Tiana, here. I'll bring the caravan for you next time, mate. You can keep the bed warm.
Yeah, don't envy you out there, mate. We do appreciate your mahi out there, Salahi. Hey, some solid D coming in at the moment. You know, sometimes when the rain comes down, the boys really put on the big hits. Bonjour, nice smile in difficult circumstances.
And the crowd's going nowhere here, Dale. They know they're in for a good game. How important, Tiarahi, is that start from the Manurewa Marlins now that the gods have opened up the heavens, mate, and thrown down some tears on us?
Ki tēnei roto e nei momo kemu, ko tētahi piro e ahua ōrite ki ngā piro e rua. Koe nā te tino wāriu o e rā momo i te mea he ua ki te whakawhiti te rārangi, he ua ki te kapuaka i te pōro. I can't agree with you more. You notice in with the football, 1 try is almost the value of 2 tries. That's how much points are worth and how hard it is to score, because it just becomes so much harder to run. The ground gets softer, your footwork gets nullified. It's very, very difficult to hold on to the ball. I'm just hoping, well, I'm wondering actually, with that try that they butchered after the Henry header runaway, and they didn't capitalise on the left-hand corner, whether that's going to come back to bite them, because again, that 6 points could have been worth 12, and that could have actually put the Tigers under some real pressure to the point where the game could have been decided at that stage.
I'll tell you what, it looks like the Marlins are full of intent at the moment. Here's Iwāpo, puts the ball on, Campbell's on the chase, and it's eventually forced dead by Tony Taula, and he had no option to, because Glenn Campbell was, well, he's on his horse. He was able to almost dot down for an extension of that lead. I just want to touch a little